Geriatric patients with a bunch of problems that are ventilated, right? All we're doing is medically keeping them alive for a little while longer. How does that prepare me for trauma of war? Well, he also went to work on the medical surgical ward, full of patients that are over a week out of their injuries. They've been in country for at least a week. How does that get me ready, or any other nurse that's here, how did that get them ready to see someone that 20 minutes ago went through an IED or a massive firefight and took a couple of rounds from an AK? Well, I said, you know what, man? Why don't you do something useful for the nurses that are going to be deploying in the future? Why don't you talk to Baltimore Shock Trauma and get some of the nurses up there for their Saturday Night Gun Club and let them see some fresh trauma? Fortunately, I did have a friend of mine who was a lieutenant commander, Julie Darling, said, "That's a great idea, Aaron. I want to work on that with you." Well, I was just getting ready to tell her, "No, we're going to work on that together, Aaron." I said, "All right," so I shut up at that point. But this is a month and a half. They had a psych nurse in there and said, "Is there anything I can do?" I said, "Well, I've been asking for a month for a pill so I can sleep at night, or during the daytime, or anytime I'm not working. If I could get a nap, it would be great, because I haven't slept." And this is really when it started to go bad. And they didn't realize. My bosses, my supervisors, my co-workers didn't realize, why was Aaron so damn good in the NICU, and now he's such a miserable prick to be around? I transferred to an outpatient clinic, worked there for a bit. While I was deployed, right around August 20th, there's a rocket attack, which we had all the time. But this one in particular, I was riding my bicycle from my barracks to the hospital, which was about a mile apart, so the trauma teams got bicycles to go back and forth. Because, you run a mile. Back then I was in good shape, maybe 7 minutes. Well, I needed to be to the hospital a lot faster than that, so I could get there in about a minute and a half on a bike. I'm riding my bike into work one morning. I'm wearing shorts, t-shirt, and a bike helmet. I actually looked like one of those guys with a bike helmet on in Afghanistan. And you'd hear it all the time. Sometimes the booms were bigger than others, but they always made a boom. 45% of them didn't explode. This morning the was really loud. And it was about 30 yards away. It didn't explode, but the impact of that hitting the ground knocked me off the bike, hit the ground, minor concussion. Didn't know it at the point, but cervical spine injury. So that's why I regressed this story at that point. So I go through 3 surgeries for the neck. I got a spinal fusion from C4 to C7. All right, I've had a hip replaced, plus the minor TBI. There's some memory issues. There's a little bit of personality change. It happens. Anyone that's gone through any kind of a TBI, you know what I'm talking about. The headaches. So the darkness really starts rolling in. I want to talk to everybody here about this, because this is something that we need to start talking about with this group and veterans in general. Nobody wants to talk about the darkness. We got to do something to save lives. We got to stop veterans from committing suicide. I just had another brother commit suicide for my unit. I knew my neighbor down the street was a veteran, committed suicide. Ask the question, how you doing today? Nobody asked me the question, and boy did it get dark. The nightmares. 5, 6 nights a week, night terrors. If anybody's had a night terror, it's not like a nightmare, it's like torture. You're in a nightmare you can't get out of, but it's so real you think you're awake. So going through that, you get afraid to go to sleep. At the time, I wasn't drinking. Very fortunate, right? Because I guarantee it would have been a situation where I was drinking that bottle and a half a night to get to sleep. This was a white knuckle year and a half. You start spiraling when the memories won't go away, when you can't fight the depression, when you can't fight the lack of sleep. You start spinning and you start whirling out of control. Crazy thoughts that never entered your mind ever in your life. I got to get rid of it somehow. Hey, give me some help. Military medicine or the VA. I need help. All right, I'm kind of spiraling here, but it doesn't come. I'm a nurse. I know I need, you know what? Just give me some sleeping pills and I'll be okay. That wasn't the right answer, but I didn't get the sleeping pills either. Darker and deeper. Every day. The only reason why I went to work was so I didn't get in trouble at work. Even though when I was at work, I was typically getting into trouble. Kind of stupid. But that was the mentality at the time. I worked my ass off for my patients, though. There was one thing I could say. It gets to the point where I didn't own a weapon at the time. How am I going to do this? How do I end the pain? And you start to imagine a plan. If you're a veteran in that situation, or have been in that situation, where you're close to that point, you have a plan. I'm not going to call you out right now, but I'm going to tell you tonight, if you have a plan, if you're not talking to me when I'm done talking, okay, how do we say it in the military? You are wrong. You come and talk to me tonight if you have a plan. Right? Because if you've been not getting the answers you need, I will get you the answers and the help you need personally. You have that plan, that's when you're deep in trouble. Because the plan becomes, the more you think about it, the more realistic it becomes. And I'll be honest with you, I was within a week of initiating and enacting my plan. I used to love to golf before I deployed. With the neck injury, I couldn't swing a golf club anymore. Couldn't do it. Pain in my right arm was like lightning if I get it in the wrong position, even after the surgeries. I had some veteran friends that knew I played, and they knew of an organization called the Salute Military Golf Association, and a man named Jim Estes, who I love dearly to this day. He taught me how to swing a golf club. But it was those veterans that would say, let's go. We're going out golfing. In the 4.5 hours on a golf course with 3 guys, we dealt with some shit. And most of them were the guys that you knew they were combat veterans that have Purple Hearts. You knew they had Purple Hearts because Ramon was missing his right arm below the elbow, and Chris was missing his left leg below the knee, and TJ was a right leg above the knee amputee, and all 3 of them were kicking my ass on the golf course, and I hated them. They can't beat me now. But it was 4.5 hours with 3 brothers that led to that plan becoming the dumbest thing that ever went through my head. Maybe not the dumbest, but pretty far up there with the dumbest thing. So golf. Golf is what I actually personally credit with saving my life. but I can see it in fishing too. Because what we experienced today as veterans, and yesterday, even Monday coming into town and getting to have a great dinner, sitting at tables and talking to people, some of whom we've never met. I mean, I didn't know anybody on this trip other than my brother, and I talked to Joe on the phone a couple of times. I didn't know anybody here. Oh, my father-in-law too, I did know him. Sorry, Chris. This is therapy. This is help. This is what it's about. And you got an organization called Pay It Forward. So, Pay It Forward takes donor money, donations for boats, charters, captains, food donations. Everything that they do here is through donation. And they pay that forward, and they paid that forward this week to us. Okay? All of us in this room. So, here's my challenge. I'm going to wrap this up a little bit. I've been to a bunch of golf events in the past in different organizations, fly fishing with a different organization. Pay It Forward, this is the first time that this is truly connected with what I'm about to say. You haven't heard a story tonight. How am I paying it forward? I'm talking to you right now because I want every veteran in this place. Number one, get the help you need if you need it. Number two, if you've got the help you need, pay it forward. Help another veteran. Be that shoulder for another veteran. If you don't know the answer, get the answer because you know someone that has the answer to help someone else. You could leave here tomorrow and say, that was an awesome trip. That was great fishing. We caught so many walleye. We ate like kings and queens. We spent 2 days on the water in great weather, and you can let it rest. Or you can pay it forward by finding next year's participants and say, you're applying for this program, and you're going to get them the information to apply. All right? You're not going to be the guys that are going to keep, well, I'm going to reapply for myself because I want to go on that awesome fishing trip again. Well, you go on a fishing trip again, but you know what? Come back in a different position within the fishing trip. Reach out to Joe, help him out. Help him organize this in any which way you can. Pay forward what's been given to you. All right? Tell people about phenomenal organizations. Fishing for Life. You know, you got to share that word. What are they doing? All right, we use the word fishing to spread the gospel. You got to tell people about that, what they're doing. Look at what the other organizations that are supporting tonight and spread the word about them. So my challenge for you is this. Never, ever let your phone go to voicemail when it's a brother or sister in arms. The very first date I went on with my wife, We sat down, we told each other all of our stories, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to let you know right now, there are some people in my phone, when they call, I don't care what is going on, I don't care what we're doing, I don't care if we are, whatever, meeting the Queen of England. I'm stopping what we're doing, I'm answering that phone. Tonight we were out in front, I didn't even have my phone on me, but I got this watch. And when my boy called me, I answered the phone. I made sure he's okay. So never let your phone go to voicemail. Answer that phone every time a veteran calls. One of your brothers or sisters call. Always answer the phone. Call them to check on them. Tonight, tomorrow, I know you got people that you've served with. Reach out to them. So, challenge. Within the next week, I want you to reach out to every veteran in your phone. How you doing? And talk to them and tell them, I just went on this awesome fishing trip and I want to tell you about it. It was amazing. I think you would have a great time there. Every veteran in your phones, I want you to reach out to them and tell them about this. Y'all save a life when you do that. See, we found that when someone puts a golf club or a fishing pole in their hand, two things are happening. All right? It takes, for a one-armed person, they can play golf. But a one-armed person can't hold something else when they're golfing or fishing. So we're finding that the Glock is getting put down, and so is the jack. All right? Anyone can learn how to fish, and anyone can learn how to golf. Anyone can learn how to play pickleball. I can say that because I played pickleball for the first time, and I got beat horribly by ladies that were, how do you say, 70-year-old octogenarians? One octogenarian. Right? Yeah, I got beat by a bunch of ladies in their 70s and 80s playing pickleball. It did hurt, but I'm over it. I will get them eventually. Reach out, get a hold of your veteran brothers and sisters, save a life by being a pest to them. Hoorah!
Hoorah!
All right. I want to thank all y'all for your time. I want to thank you, Jet, for being here and helping out. Joe, again. God bless y'all. Does anybody want to ask any questions? Because I know the other two last night, kind of asked some questions. You don't have to. I don't mind not answering questions. Totally fine with that. But if anybody did have something sneaking, my dog! 30 seconds. Yes, Eugen. He's an Akita. He is the only Akita service dog in America that is fully certified as a service dog. He's sleeping right there. Yeah, people don't even know he's there. Huh? He's sleeping. I don't want to bother him. He's going to be working tonight, believe me. So he's dual trained for PTSD and mobility. So, and that's for PTSD. All right, I am going to ask, anybody diagnosed with PTSD in here? Do me a favor, from now on, and I slip up saying this, drop the damn D. Going through what we experienced to get this diagnosis, all right? It's not a disorder, it's a natural response to what we've lived through and experienced. It's post-traumatic stress. It's not a disorder, all right? Serious. We ain't broken. We're not. We're reacting to some shit. Sorry. We're reacting to some stuff. And it's okay. And sometimes it's okay to not be okay. Because you know what? when we were in uniform, someone had R6, someone's got R6 still. All right? And if you don't think anybody does, open your eyes and open your ears a little bit. We're there. So, now, done with Eugene. Questions?
Can you explain TBI?
TBI, medically, traumatic brain injury. Okay? When a massive force hits the head, what happens is either compression, like this, inside the skull, right? Or what's called a coup contra coup happens, where the brain bounces inside the skull, kind of like a basketball. Right? You get bruises on both sides of the brain, swelling happens, and it'll affect different areas within the cortexes of the brain. Some people forgot I was a nurse and I could talk smart like this. So, depending on the type of traumatic brain injury, to the extent of it, and to how many a person has had, depends on how it impacts them. Typically, from a traumatic brain injury, most people will have headaches, visual disturbances, at the moment, loss of consciousness, down the road, forgetfulness, changes in personality. If the frontal cortex gets damaged, it can completely change your personality. So that's what happens when a bomb goes off really close by you, or they're finding now that when you're in an enclosed space, firing a high-powered rifle, in an enclosed space, can actually cause mild TBIs over and over and over and over and over again. So, that answer your question?
Why? Why don't you explain further?
Oh, yes. Now everybody else knows. So, any other questions?
You went quite a while from your story there now and said to him, he was in a damn field hospital. Why can't we get some kind of a message like that out in the damn consuming public to realize what you guys go through?
Repeat the question, please.
So he asked, I was in a field hospital, and why can't they get the damn message out to the public about what we experienced?
Working in just a field hospital, you didn't have the facilities that we got here stateside.
Yeah, we worked with a plywood shack, tents, nothing. So the Canadian military actually, while I was there, a producer from ABC Canada came in and interviewed a lot of the hospital staff at our Roll 3 hospital. And there was a ABC News, ABC TV Canada TV show based on a lot of the stories of what we experienced over there. All true stories, Hollywoodified for the show, and it was called Combat Hospital. I wasn't a character on the show, even though I think I would have been a great one. Yeah, I don't know, I think they replaced me with a gay male nurse or something. I don't know. Maybe. No. They did try to show what we had experienced over there. You can't. You couldn't get it through motion picture rating. The NC-17 doesn't cover, horror to the level of what we experienced and saw. So that's the reality of it. They couldn't do it. Same thing with guys out on deployment. Vietnam movies, World War II movies, nothing can truly show what it's like. The only movie I know of where someone from active service has publicly said that is the most accurate portrayal of what it's like was a buddy of mine who was from SEAL Team 6, and after we watched American Sniper with Bradley Cooper, and he's sitting in his chair in his house, kind of dead-faced, watching the TV, like he's watching a football game, but the TV is completely blank. He was like, that was the most accurate depiction by Hollywood ever for a movie of what it's like after coming home. So,
Did your suggestions that senior things that she did so much for you guys ever get fulfilled?
we actually created a program. We started sending all the Navy nurses that were stationed on the East Coast to Baltimore Shock Trauma for 2 weeks of training prior to deployment, yes. So, yeah, we did get that through. We got it done. That was pretty awesome to see actually come to fruition. So, thanks.
That's wonderful, you had the balls to do it.
She had nothing to do with it.
No, you had.
Oh, me? I got the balls. I'll do anything.
You may want,
Yeah, no. Challenge, triple dog dare me. Well, it's done. I'll jump off the dock right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not jumping off the dock. The water's just, it's clean.
I got one more comment to make you. I had a neighbor girl that had a son that worked in the ER room in Minneapolis Hospital, and he was there for 3-4 years, and he said he had to get out of there because he said gunshot wounds, and especially the belly area, he says it's the worst damn mess to take blood cleaning. He couldn't take it.
Yeah, he's never seen the guy that was the driver of the striker that run over a IED made out of 105s. But, I mean, he's got a good argument. It's belly shots, gunshot wounds anyway, no fun to work with, but there's a whole lot worse that you can see. So. He's standing right here, and it's a big applause. Huge one.